Yay, we are live. Welcome everybody to TotalBodyLab friends and clients bi-weekly chat. My name is Katya Gorbacheva, and we are welcoming the rest of our teammates who had time to join us today. Hi, Michelle and Carol. Hi, David. I know Julie is joining us later. So let's check sound. Can somebody say something?
Testing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. Oh, good to see you, Carol. Okay. I know you're not training right now, but it's still nice to see that you're okay. Things are okay. You're like walking, doing yoga and stuff.
Something's happening with our sound.
With your sound, I can hear you guys.
Yeah, okay. But we can't hear everything you're saying. We were hearing you and then you cut out and then you came back and
That's my sound. If I touch this cord, sometimes it just thinks I'm not using this microphone anymore. So since I have a puppy here now, this cord is being touched like a lot. Yeah. Okay, well, who wants to start? I can start if you guys are shy.
Do we have everyone?
No, we don't, but we're just going to keep rolling because we only have an hour and it's recorded. So people who are too shy or can't join on time, they can just rewatch the beginning.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I do have a super cool presentation, so I'm very excited about that. We're going to be talking about how to stay on track while traveling, and I've traveled like too much probably, before competing, during the Veg Fests and, different countries, plane, train, car. So hopefully some of that will be useful. But I'm going to start with the wins. Did I already compete when we had our last chat? I don't think I did. I think I was just about to, yeah? Oh, yeah. Okay. Then some PRs for me. I broke 400 pounds on the deadlift. It hasn't really been like a goal. My goal is 405. I guess the feel good goal because it's 4 solid plates that are pound plates, not the red ones, unfortunately. But yeah, it still looked pretty. I still had 3 red plates on the bar and some change, and I looked really confident. So I can't believe it. What I also can't believe is how much my bench sucked because I thought it was my best lift. But like I matched my PR from almost a year ago. Like it just stays the same. So yeah, anyways, bench is a hard one for me. Like I'll improve it in the gym and in the meet something happens every once in a while, or it'll be stuck in the gym. So oh well. Small squat PR, 2.5 kilos. So yeah, and we are still not at 1,000 pounds total, but it's okay. We're getting there. It's 964. So
You're good there.
Yeah. And another good news, or I guess interesting news, is I was walking my dogs literally like 2 hours ago before I went to the gym and found a beautiful, like half a year old girl pit puppy. And I'm just, trying to figure out, who's going to take her and stuff. And it's interesting and it's crazy. But I think David's going to help me with that a little bit.
Yeah, I can take her for the weekend anyway.
Yeah.
As long as she doesn't eat Scrappy or vice versa.
She's tiny.
Yeah.
So that's my news. Hey, Lydia, we have a new team member join. Yay. All right. So while Lydia's getting set up, why don't somebody else share stuff?
Well, I don't really have many wins. I haven't been eating very good, so that it's not very good. Of course, I haven't been able to do anything, but I have gotten to run. So I've done about 3 runs in the last week or two. So, so that was nice. And I'm happy to be back running. Hopefully my surgeon will release me tomorrow to actually lift more than 10 pounds.
Okay. So to those who don't know, what happened?
I had an emergency appendectomy a couple weeks ago. Tuesday, it'll be 4 weeks. So I wasn't allowed to lift anything over 10 pounds for 4 weeks. So yeah, fun times.
Yeah, well,
but it's been fine. I should have been eating cleaner since I couldn't work out as much, but I have not been eating very well either. So
Sorry,
I get
what does that mean? Appendectomy? Is that what
Oh,
you
I
said?
had my appendix removed. I had appendicitis and went to the ER, and then they did surgery that same day. So spent a night in the hospital. So
super fun.
yeah, close.
How are you, Michelle?
Well, Carol not eating well means Michelle doesn't eat well, because when one of us doesn't eat well, the other doesn't eat well.
Believe it or me.
That's the way it goes. So my weight's staying steady, which is a good thing. I haven't jumped up too much, maybe a little bit, but need to get back and focus on food, but still working out.
Sweet. Awesome. Lydia, so for your first call, it's just a kind of informal. We share some wins from the previous 2 weeks before, and then, first, and then some challenges. And then I usually do like a little presentation on whatever the topic we have selected for this week. And we can just talk about whatever is bothering people. If anybody has questions, or if people in the chat listening live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn are asking stuff. So yeah, that's how it goes. So you are welcome to share any wins if you want.
Okay. So I just started this last Monday, so it hasn't been quite 2 weeks. But I think I've been pretty good about tracking. I know when I don't track, I definitely, eat too much or like not the right ratios of macros. So tracking really has helped me. It's helped me keep accountable, knowing that someone's watching my tracking. So that's been really helpful. So hoping to get more into the exercise routine in the weeks to follow.
Yeah. Awesome. David?
I've had lots of wins, actually. I finished my cut for nationals. I didn't want to be cutting too close to nationals, so I may have to do just a slight little tiny bit over the next couple of weeks, like a pound or two. But I'm where I can make weight for nationals now.
What weight are you competing in?
I'm competing at 75 kilos, so 165 pounds. And I wanted to get down to about 170. I'm at 172. I know from previous meets I can easily cut 5 pounds, and that's what I'm really trying. So if I really try, 7 is not that hard. So I'm cool on making weight as long as I stick to things. I found an app that really works for me. The one everyone uses, Fitness Pal, it just never worked for me. It was never good for me. But I found one that worked, so that was good. And that's been really, really nice, actually, to have my diet just totally dialed in. My macros are perfect. Everything's perfect with my diet. So that's really nice. And despite losing 10 pounds in the last 6 weeks, which was a little faster. I wanted to lose it about a pound a week, but went a little faster. I got a bench press PR, which was a huge number for me because I'm not built for bench press, and I'm not awesome at it. But I've pressed more than my body weight, which is kind of a big personal milestone for me. So I was really happy about that. And I have set a couple of deadlift PRs because we're now in this strength testing phase of my meet prep, and I got 391 on Sunday, so I was really happy about that. It was clearly about as much as I was going to lift, so that's good. But I've got time to get even stronger. But 391 is not too shabby, so I'm very happy about that. So yeah, lots of wins for me.
Congrats. Your deadlift and bench both have sound effects.
Yeah. My bench was not the prettiest bench that anyone's ever seen. That is for damn sure. But it kept moving up, so that's all that counts.
Hell yeah. Awesome.
Are you doing all 3?
For competing, no. I'm just competing at deadlift.
Okay.
But you could do all 3, Harsh.
Yeah, but that's not David. We're talking about David right now.
I know.
I want to dial my squat technique in before I worry about competing at it. And I've been using squat to build strength for my deadlift, to build leg drive for my deadlift. But the problem is my technique is just not very clean yet. And so I mentioned, I mentioned Andre Alexi, sorry, that I think it might be a good idea to just back the weight way down on that, dial in my technique, because the technique is limiting my ability to gain strength with it. So like we use something else, whatever, leg press. There's a lot of ways to gain leg strength that don't involve squats, and just use something else for strength and knock the numbers way down on squat, get the technique really squared away, and then work back up on that. Because it's silly to keep pushing the weight when my technique is just not right yet.
Yeah, the technique work is lower weight for sure.
You gotta really drop the weight to do that.
Yeah.
And just kind of troubleshoot it and figure it out. And you don't want to be doing it under maximum loads. So
Yeah.
And there's other options to build my leg drive, so it's not like mission critical.
But so like question to that end, do you foresee yourself competing in squats?
In squats?
Yeah.
Not right now, but we'll see how things go. If I get it dialed in, I may. I may or may not.
I asked because like I'm similar to you. Like I think like my squat technique is bogus, but and I like mainly use it as like how to say an extra for deadlift, or like
As an accessory.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like sometimes I think like, do I really care? Do I like squatting? No, I think of it as like an accessory to deadlifting, and
Ow, it hurts. Ow.
I don't know. Yeah, I know you love squats, but okay, you're not me. But like, yeah, so like to that end, if you're not ever going to think about competing in squats, that's fine. Like you might as well just keep doing heavy weights because it might continue to help your deadlifts. That was my train of thought. But if you are thinking of competing in squats, ignore what I've said.
See, I think you should have the right form whether you're going to compete in it or not, but that's just me. But I did the exact same thing. My form was not very good, and I wasn't going very deep, and I had to one day say I'm going to focus on getting deep, and I am light in the weight, and it didn't take long to get it and get back up, and I think my squats are pretty good now. Katya can say whether I'm right or not about that. So.
I agree. And I think the majority of the people on this call right now have struggled with squats. I think I'm the outlier who just loves squatting. Squat is like my favorite thing ever. So I don't know what's wrong with you guys. No, I'm kidding.
I don't hate it. I don't really like lifting heavy on any of my lifts. So, I mean, I like it better than deadlift.
Okay. Yeah, fine. Well, I will tell you this, especially to Harsh. Squat transfers to deadlift very well. If you squat a lot, if you squat more, you will deadlift more. If you deadlift more, you won't necessarily squat more. It doesn't transfer the other way as well. So like over the pandemic, for example, a lot of my friends only had like a certain amount of pounds, like 2 plates, maybe 3 plates, and like they were strong dudes. So they were like, oh, what the hell are we doing? So clearly they would, squat and deadlift with that. But since they were squatting as well for like, I don't know, reps, like 10, 20, however many, because that's all the weight they had in the pandemic, it still improved their deadlift. And they were squatting more usually than just like deadlifting, because for deadlifting, it's like you would have to do, I don't know how many times, 40, like it's just annoying. So yeah, some Olympic lifting and some just deep squats, tempo squats.
Yeah. I think more importantly, squatting is a natural and important motion. Right?
Yeah, for life. Yeah.
I mean, squatting is getting off the toilet when you're 80, right? And if you've never seen an old frail person that can't get off the toilet for yourself, you may as well just shoot yourself. I mean, you don't want life like that. So squat now, so you don't have to have your daughter, lift you off the toilet when you're 80, because that's probably not something you want to do, right?
Yeah, probably not. That's a good point. And I've struggled sitting on the toilet and getting up. Just full confirmation after how many days did I take? I think I take 9 days of rest since the meet, and went back to the gym, and like I have mad volume right now and little rest, like 60, 90-second rest. Yeah. Oh my God. Why do you guys ask for less rest ever?
He's doing the same thing to me.
Yeah, I had 8 sets of 8 of 70 kilos. And 70 kilos is like what? My squat PR is 1 almost 170. It's like, oh, it's 167 and a half.
Yeah.
So it's 97 and a half kilos less than my max. It's very low percentage, but because it was 8 sets of 8, 90 seconds rest, like my quads are just exploding. So yeah.
You know, you can get you don't have to, you can do box squats and stuff if you're just trying to learn how to you know, make sure you can get off the toilet or get out of a chair when you're old. You don't have to squat. You don't have to squat. You know, I mean, there's no lift that's mandatory, but it's a good motion. But if you're going to lift heavy squats, you better do it right.
Right.
You can't just let go of the bar like in a deadlift.
Right. Yes. Cool. Before we get caught up in this stuff, Julie, how are you? How was life? What are the wins from the last week? I know you have a lot to tell us.
Hey, first of all, can you hear me and see me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm in my car right now. Yeah, I am competing on June 3rd, which is the Saturday after this one, my first competition. And tomorrow, I mentioned this in the chat, tomorrow I'm doing my first ever max lift test. And I just saw David's question asking me kind of, you know, what exactly am I anxious about? Because I'm super kind of anxious about the whole thing. And I think a big part of it is just that I'm already so fatigued, like CNS fatigue, random aches and pains in my body, feeling really tired and unfocused. And I'm concerned that my max lift test is going to suffer because I'm already going into it super tired. And so I want to do my best. I'm kind of thinking of it as like a mini competition. So maybe that's like taking it more seriously than I should, but that's kind of how my brain is wrapping itself around that. And also just wanting to make sure that I don't get hurt while I'm trying to lift so much, because I'm going to be doing more weight on all of the major lifts than I ever have. And so I have a spotter. My boyfriend will be there to spot me. But I just want to make sure that I don't get hurt doing that, so that I end up missing the real competition, you know? So I think that's kind of what I'm concerned about at this point.
Okay. Valid points. If you have a spotter, I wouldn't be too worried. The way you feel about your CNS fatigue and just overall kind of like being on edge and random aches and pains, that's exactly how 99% of people feel like about, you know, a week and a half to like a month out from the competition. Who agrees? Who has competed? Who agrees with this? David. Okay. Carol. Yes. Harsh. What do you think? How do you feel before, like, the?
I've never competed. I don't know.
Oh, dude, you did a deadlift meet. Well, that's where we met.
Okay. Yeah. So. Yeah. I mean, I just say get sleep. That's it. That's
yeah.
Most.
Yeah. So that's how majority of people feel, and I guess David asked the best question in terms of like what exactly was you causing your anxiety, and did you figure that out?
Yeah, I think it was just in terms of getting hurt and then just not doing my best. Sorry, I'm trying to stay in the camera range. Getting hurt and not doing my best. So having like an inaccurate max lift. So maybe I'm putting a little bit of performance pressure on myself, just because I want to do well for the max lift test so that I do well for the competition. Yeah, so those are the things I'm scared of.
Yeah, don't be scared of not doing well, because you haven't deloaded yet. So you may not do well in your max test. That's okay. Like I didn't in my last one. You know, I did the opposite. Like I did terrible for deadlift test and for squat test, and I got PRs in both of those. And I did amazing on bench test, and it was awful in the meet. So just relax and enjoy yourself. Take a lot of rest. It's not going to be super fatiguing because you have like quick warm-ups and then just test.
Okay. Well, thanks for kind of talking about that. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes and how the competition goes. I'm sure our next call, I'll give you guys all the rundown. Hopefully I won't vomit or collapse on stage.
You may pee during the deadlift. I'm just saying, it's a common thing. I don't know if you do that. I have not done that a lot. I've done that maybe like once or twice. But some girls, like if it's just, past certain percent max, they just like, it just goes. And it's okay. And you just shouldn't be ashamed of it. But like out of the things that, like you mentioned, puking on the platform, that does happen very, very rarely. I see girls peeing during the deadlift a lot more often, especially in strong men they do. But, it's just life.
Yeah, I've never had that issue, but I am going to wear some, sorry if it's TMI, but I am going to wear some period underwear just in case, because you never know.
What a wonderful tip. We should add that to our powerlifting checklist. Bring some period underwear just in case. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. Lydia, how are you liking all of our conversations so far?
I like it. No, everyone's very honest and encouraging. Enjoy.
All right. You guys have anything to add for Julie and her anxiety of the test?
Yeah, I would just ask like the follow-up question, so the first question is, what are you anxious about? Getting hurt? Sure, reasonable. Okay. You probably won't, it's unlikely. It happens, but it's not, it's not that likely. But then I would follow up the other one, which is that you're afraid you won't do your best with, so what? What happens if you don't do your best? Like literally nothing bad happens. No one laughs at you. And if they do, they're dicks, so it doesn't matter. And like nothing bad happens. And it's your first meet, so it's automatically going to be good because the whole point is to go there and learn how a meet works. So you show up and you win, right? So, and the other thing you have to remember, if you're being super competitive, you've already beaten everyone that doesn't go to the meet. So like if you have to be super competitive, you've already beaten a lot of people, but you're only working against yourself. So whatever you get, it's just your start, and that's fine. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I am definitely my own worst critic. I'm a perfectionist and all of that. So, but it helps to hear that from people who have competed who are like, yeah, this is really just a drop in the bucket. And I also do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and in Jiu-Jitsu we have a saying that's you either win or you learn. And I think I say that to people all the time, but I don't really say it to myself ever. And so I'm going to start kind of trying to say that to myself, because this is going to be learning no matter what.
And the other thing to remember is the weights will always win. Like there is always an amount of weight that you cannot lift.
Yeah.
So don't beat yourself up, right? Like it doesn't matter who you are. You could be the strongest person in the world. The weights still win. So there you go.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. It's good tips. Gravity always wins.
Awesome. Thank you guys for supporting each other. I really love this. Alrighty. I'm going to try to share stuff now. Entire screen. And share. Cool. Look how fast this is. I remember where things are in the PowerPoint. Yay. Okay, so I can't see y'all's faces when this is on the screen. So if you have to stop me, if you have something to add during, feel free. You just have to start talking, okay? Because I can't see y'all. Or if it's super boring, just be like, hey, Katya, move on. Anyways, I did get a lot of questions. It's, summer, pretty much already here. People are going to go traveling, people are going to take vacations. I guess you take vacations during the winter, but then the questions are usually, how the hell do I not gain so much weight between Christmas and Thanksgiving, all of the family goodness that we eat? And we can talk about that closer to the holiday season. But now the question is staying consistent while traveling during the summer, right? So I have two examples. Let's say example number one, you're flying to some beach place for 10 days. So for a while, right? So you got to bring your beach stuff. You don't have a lot of space in the luggage. So you can't bring a whole bunch of equipment. You can't bring a whole bunch of food and protein. So what do you do? I like to book an Airbnb or hotel that I know is close to like a local bodega, a market, whatever that has like fresh vegetables, fresh fruit, whatever the grains usually they have, oatmeals or breads, like it doesn't matter. So the staples, right? So I pretty much immediately go grocery shopping, and I know I can cook in my Airbnb, or even if it's a hotel. The best trick that I know when traveling and it doesn't have a kitchenette is you usually have a coffee maker. Well, you can make so many things in it. You can make oatmeal, you can get relatively healthy like soups. One of my friends sells one for hiking. It's called Ultrout. You should look it up. It's completely vegan, doesn't have any allergens. It's awesome. So she sells it for hiking, super shelf stable and compact. You can make that in your little coffee maker. So awesome. And for drinking, I bring tea so I don't get bored drinking water all the time. And I don't want to drink coffee all the time. And it saves a lot of money, going to a bodega, buying that stuff and not having to like go to restaurants to get your macros. It saves you panic and like unknown, I guess, logging, right? Plus in restaurants, usually per cup of whatever the food they give you, they add about a spoon of oil, whatever that oil is. It could be olive, it could be, I don't know. Hold on. Oh my God, dog is going crazy. Survive, puppy. I'll be there in half an hour. Sorry. Yeah, so if you are trying to maintain, if you're not trying to gain, or if you are low on fats, imagine you go out 3 times, right? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. A tablespoon is about like at least 20 grams. You got 60 grams of oil, boom, just like fats in there. Usually like coconut or olive oil or whatever they use. It's crazy. So like people wonder, oh, why do I have to cook? You don't have to, but like if you go out, you got to take that into account. And that means reducing portion sizes may not leave you very satiated. Anyways, packing bands. That's the only equipment that I bring for exercise when I fly. I think I get like lacrosse balls and bands normally. All right. So food-wise, clearly vitamins and supplements. Don't forget that. I'm not going to look for B12 if I'm in Japan or whatever. I don't understand anything. Protein powder. Bring it in the original container. I have gone through airports when TSA takes my bag of white stuff and is like, what is this relatively big bag of white stuff? And it's like, oh God. So yeah, not very fun. Protein bars, because I'm not gonna, they're small. I'm not gonna go like looking for them right away. TVP. Whoever doesn't know what TVP is, it's like the best thing ever. It's texturized vegetable protein. You can add it to any meal. Vegans, vegetarians on the call know what it is. Non-vegans, non-vegetarians, you can still eat it. Imagine that. It's not meat, but you can still eat it. It's amazing because it's shelf stable, and you can buy like TVP steaks, you can buy TVP nuggets, crumbles, whatever the size and texture you like, it exists. And just add it to whatever you eat. Add it on top of your yogurt instead of a granola. Add it to your oatmeal. I think in the majority of y'all's meal plans, I suggest added it to oatmeal. You can add it to soups, whatever you're making. I also have a recipe of TVP granola on the website if you're curious to make some and take some to go. So nuts and seeds are surprisingly hard to find depending on the place you travel. I was very shocked, but in some places, it's just like walnuts is a great source of omega-3s. So I rely on them for that micronutrient. And I couldn't find them in like some Caribbean countries when I was traveling. They had like Brazil nuts and I don't remember some other nuts. And I was like, okay, I don't want those. Anyways, dried edamame, also super great. You can buy from Amazon in like the huge containers. You can buy the to-go packets. Really awesome source of protein. It's like half protein, half fat pretty much, right? Shelf stable, lasts forever, weighs very light. Seitan, if you made some, it usually lasts like a day or two without a fridge, at least according to my experience, my recipe that's on the website, right? And tofu, I'm going to go to the next slide and show you what tofu I bring, because most tofu is not shelf stable, right? You got to put it in the fridge, but there are exceptions. And jerky, vegan jerky, great protein source, compact, right? So grocery shopping list. Seasoned fruit is what I try to buy. I don't try to buy, whatever I'm used to, if like that's not a thing in that place, because it usually tastes weird. It could be like shipped from a long long distance, and you know, it's not that good. Oats or whole bread, don't be scared of bread for like breakfast or for sandwiches to go. Why not? Throw some vegan deli on it, lunch is ready, right? Silken tofu on the next slide. You can pack it or you can buy it if you find it. I usually just pack mine if I'm going for like a while. I'll just bring a couple boxes. Canned soup, Annie's is my favorite brand. Is like always vegan, amazing macros, amazing ingredients, very like quote unquote clean ingredients. And whoever likes beans or lentils, you can get them canned and they're already cooked, you know? I don't think you have to like boil them. You can just eat them straight out of the can. At least I have, and I'm like still here. So I guess. Yeah. TVP and tofu. So this is exactly what I bring. Pretty much everywhere I go, if it's for a long trip, I have this in my bag all of the time. The silken tofu here, you can get in any Chinese store. You can get online for double the price. That's fine. But why, if you can just go to a Chinese market and get like a huge box of like 12 pack of this? It's awesome. Do not put in your carry-on. They will take it out of the carry-on because it's like this consistency that's kind of not, sometimes they let you go. It's not super firm. It's kind of jelly-ish. So yeah, I would pack it in the checked luggage. Any questions so far? All right, moving on. Equipment list. I don't like to pack special shoes for lifting if I'm going light. So I'll just bring Vans or Converses, or if you're a fancy person, Nike Metcons, and I'll walk around in them and I'll train in them. You know, you can squat, bench, deadlift. You don't need sneakers for that. You don't need special shoes. Even if you lift in special shoes for vacation, this will work, right? Bands, again, super versatile, super light. You can do literally anything with them. Let me know if you want instructions on how to make your own TRX for $10, because TRX bands are like super expensive and they also kind of take space. Like my homemade TRX band probably takes like about of your cell phone amount of space because you're super tiny. So I got rope, I got S hooks, and handles. I think were just some PVC pipe, and I put tape around them. So I just cut that, put rope through, and it's amazing. And it takes no space. So much better than your fancy store-bought TRX. Takes a lot less space. You can make as many of these as you want. Lacrosse ball or hollow foam roller. Usually I get a lacrosse ball because foam rollers take space. So yeah, that's my equipment list. Questions? Awesome, we're rolling.
I have a question, actually.
Yes.
Going back to the food question, have you ever run into issues bringing in foods to like foreign countries? Like,
not really. I don't think I have. Coming back into the US, they're usually like, "Ooh, you have an apple in your carry-on. Oh my God." And I'm like, "I'll throw away this apple. I'm so sorry." Like,
okay, cool.
Yeah. Have you guys, anybody had issues traveling with food?
I've not had issues traveling, but had same experience of traveling back into the US.
Yeah.
No.
So eat your food before coming back or share it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Alrighty. Now, whoever's looking at that list and is like, oh gosh, this is so boring. This is so hard. And like, man, I can't just like eat out all the time and be cool and like work out using whatever. Well, you're in the center of this circle, my friends. If you are vegan and traveling and an athlete, yeah, this is hard. It takes effort. So big surprise. I think everybody on the call knows this, but probably whoever's going to watch this in recording is going to be like, yeah. So, I mean, just give yourself some credit that you are doing this and it is hard, but it's okay. That's kind of what it takes sometimes. If you are going on the drive, that is the next example. I usually put a bunch of stuff in my trunk. That's my locker. My lifting gear is always there. I throw a cooler in there. It doesn't matter if you do meal prep or not. It just is really nice to have like some fresh veggies instead of like getting chips at a gas station. You get whatever the grains and I don't know, cucumbers, bananas. You can get like 20 bananas and it's still less calories than like a big box of Pringles, you know? But you can probably finish a box of Pringles while driving. You're not going to finish 10 bananas. That's for the people who care about not gaining weight, for people who worry about maintaining weight. I think the only person on the call is Harsh. You can pack higher calorie foods and be good, right? If I'm in the car, I usually also bring a yoga mat, definitely a foam roller, and I have no shame stretching at rest areas. Isn't that where they're for? So, yeah. Oh, also, by the way, I forgot to tell you guys, I got pictures from the last meet, so included some of them here. They're not all like posted and online. I literally just got them, so enjoy.
How did you do in that meet?
Huh?
How did you do in that meet?
How did I do? I got third.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks. It was an all ladies meet, and I got my ass kicked. That's for sure.
So how did just like do they like when you say third, is there some like combination score amongst all weight classes?
Yeah, actually. So I got third in a 75 kilo weight class and overall, and the first and the second overall were the same people who got first and second in a 75 kilo weight class.
Yeah.
Just beat everybody. So that was awesome.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Alrighty. I'm going to compare food budget with like money budget. And the table on the next slide will probably make a lot of sense. But let's consider these things. What do you do differently on vacation, right? Do you go out more? Do you have more drinks? Do you walk more? Do you swim more? What other activities do? You probably don't sit at like, you sit at home and you are at the desk working, right? Or are you laying on the beach and reading more? Like, what's the plan? Are you alone? Are you with friends and family? Like, are you around people who are relatively active? Are you around people who never want to do anything and just want to eat and drink? Consider that, right? And that factors into this beauty, right? So let's say, for example, your goal is to lose 0.5 pounds a week, and you're currently on 1,800 calories, and your exercise is about 550 calories, lifting and cardio combined. And you're on track, you're losing your weight steady, you're happy. Now you go on vacation, you kind of have different goals, right? You can have the same goal, which is keep losing. You can have a goal to maintain, or you can have a goal of just having fun and throwing the towel, right? So let's see this example. Let's say you like cocktails and I don't know, beers. Mixed drinks usually have the most calories, right? So to those who don't know, alcohol has 7 calories per gram, not 4, like carbs and fats. It has more than carbs, less than fats. So I usually log it as half and half. I add like custom food in my FitnessPal, and I log it as such, or you can kind of log approximately, but just so you know. So let's say you have, I don't know, 4 drinks throughout the day, not as much, like 1 for lunch, 3 for dinner, or when you go out, that's 1,000 calories. Because you went out, they add some oil, like we've talked about, into your restaurant food. It's delicious. Maybe you got dessert, 500 extra calories, right? And you got shorter workouts because you're trying to do all this fun stuff. So let's say you don't go on your runs, or, maybe instead of working out for 2 hours, you work for 1. So your workout calories are now, instead of 550, you got 250. All right. But you were walking more, right? You were walking for miles. You burned 500 calories walking, and you swim. Awesome. We don't burn that many calories swimming. So you were swimming all day, probably burned 200 extra calories, right? Especially if you're like snorkeling or something. And you would think because you've been walking for half a day and swimming so much, you should maintain, but in reality, you're 1,200 calories over. So I would plan ahead for this and kind of just look, what do you think is going to happen depending on the differences from your current at home life situation. And you should be good. If you're gaining, again, set your goal and just look at it objectively. Same difference, right? So plan ahead, communicate with friends and family so they're like, oh, you're not going to dinners with us anymore. Oh, you're not going out. Oh, blah, blah. Like tell them that this is what you're going to be doing ahead of time. So if they want to go out, they're going to have to find somebody else, right? Find gyms ahead of time. Huge game changer. I would try to stay next to the best gyms in whatever the area. Like that's what defines my stay location. But you don't have to go that crazy. You can just find like a park where you can hook your TRX or do some HIIT, or a beautiful park to run or walk in and do cardio. That's a lot of the times what I also do. Airbnb next to like a park and a gym with a kitchen. The best. Pack some tofu, pack some TVP, tell everybody you're an athlete, and you're good. All right. Let me stop sharing my screen. What other things do you do on vacation? Do you have comments, questions?
So I've been doing a lot of driving lately, like road trip type of things. And I have started bringing a camping stove. So if you go camping and you have like a little isobutane stove and some little cookware, I've started doing that instead of relying on like, oh, let's stop at a store to ideally get something healthy. And then you get to the store and you buy something unhealthy. I go ahead and I bring cans of stuff that I would cook in the stove. And at a rest area, I just pull out the stove and I cook my stuff at a picnic table. And it's awesome. And I've been eating so much healthier food that way. And it's also hot food, which is nice instead of something out of a package. So if you have a camping stove, that might be something worth trying. Can't do that for a plane. At least you can't bring the fuel on the plane, but you can definitely do it driving.
That's great advice. And hot food is a game changer. I love hot food. Yeah. Thanks, Julie. Awesome. What other things have you done while traveling, y'all?
It depends where I'm going. Like when I visit my son, there's this awesome powerlifting gym, like super old school with all this like vintage weights and stuff. So I go there when he's at class, and I just kind of work out, and I can eat at his house. We go out a little bit, but we eat a lot at his place too, so it's pretty easy. But like if I'm going to Europe with my girlfriend, I'm not doing any of this. That's like not the point of the trip, right? And
Right.
so I'm going to plan it in. I mean, we walk a lot. Like when I go on vacation, I don't drive. Like I'm going to walk a lot. Like my phone died, but I was at like 37,000 steps, before my last step, So I don't really struggle with weight loss. So it's maybe I'm in a different case, but like we're going to Italy in the spring. We're going to go there for a week. We're going to be in a small town in Tuscany. I'm going to be eating pasta, and I'm going to be walking around. I'm going to be drinking, and I'm going to be in bed. Those are like my things. That's all I'm going to do. And I'm not going to even think about working out. It's a week. So I'll plan it in so that, the week before it's either a competition and I take it as a deload week, or we just go completely, nuts and just plan it as a deload week. So it's no longer a failure. Like it's really important, I think, not to look at things as a failure. So if you go on your vacation and you like Katya's good, you stay on your program and that's awesome. But if you know damn right well that you're lying to yourself, you better reframe it. Because what really sucks is to go on vacation saying I'm going to eat 1,800 calories a day and then eating 2,800 and coming back 5 pounds up and being upset about it. Because now you didn't even enjoy your vacation because you're just beating yourself up. So you got to pick a team, you have to pick a team. So
Yeah, I agree with you. We just did a Tampa vegan festival, and I wasn't lifting, and I ate all of the vegan junk food. Oh man, It was awesome. It was great. So
yeah, you fully embraced it. So
yeah,
it was good, Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah. I want to hear from every single one of you. Everybody has been on vacation. What do you guys do to stay on track? Or do you do what David does and just like, yo, I'm going to party in Italy. Bye.
Well, some vacations that we go, we do kind of a mix, I guess. There are some days where we're just like not going to worry about it. We'll eat whatever we want, but we take food with us. Most of the time we're going somewhere to drive, or if we fly somewhere, we'll stay in a place that has a kitchen. We'll go to the grocery store, buy our own food, so that we're eating a couple meals at least that we make and are healthier. And then we'll just go out for dinner and not worry about it.
So we do like a combination of the two. Like we definitely relax on it, but reasonably. Like what we can control, we do, but we don't stress about it, I guess is the right way to say it. And if we're going somewhere, we have a gym up in West Virginia that every time we go to visit for a week up there, we just get a week membership at the gym. So, I mean, we found our gym that we like up there, and that's the only place we go the same, like over and over again too. So
Week membership is smart. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I want to second what you said, the first thing you said about like kind of moderating yourself, but not completely being perfect the whole time.
Right.
Because part of traveling, at least for me, part of traveling is like, as a 15-year vegan, sometimes I go to places, like if I go to New York City, I want to try some vegan food. Like, you know, and so I'll say, okay, well, I'll eat a healthy breakfast in my hotel room or whatever, and I'll eat a semi-healthy lunch, but then I'll try something that I know is unhealthy in the evening. And that way I give myself that room to enjoy myself, but it's not completely going off the deep end.
Right.
Yeah. And if you're traveling with people that aren't doing any kind of plan and aren't working out, you gotta not let them food shame you.
Oh, yeah. That's actually great mention.
Yeah.
Thanks, Michelle. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just jealous that they can't stick to a plan or moderate their own food. So
It's like crabs in a bucket.
yeah,
I just invite them to join me. I'm like, oh, well, you want to come to the gym? Come spot me, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, our families have been supportive. So
I'm pretty bad about this. I like, if I'm going, I guess my answer depends on like the span of the travel. Like if you're traveling for like a weekend, you know, you can figure it out. It's not like a hard thing to navigate for like 2 days. But like we're going for like 3 weeks or something, or 4 weeks, which is something that I did because my parents live in a different country. You know, like so I'm from India. Full disclosure, Indian food is great, and I'm totally biased. And when I came here, I was like, I was vegetarian my whole life, and I came here, and then I was like really sad about being vegetarian because I had to eat dorm food. Dorm food restricted me to pizza, salads, and steamed vegetables, which I thought was kind of insulting. So then, you know, anyways, so like when I go back, I'm like, you know, I'm going there for the food. Like that's my main objective. And then like the hygiene level in the United States is really high compared to a lot of other countries, in particular India. So every time I go back, I am like ready for diarrhea, and I get it. So I'm ready for my diet to be crap. I'm ready to eat as much as I physically can. And, you know, I'm not helping anybody here maybe. But like, this is my situation. I eat what I can. I eat till I'm full. But I lift. That's the only thing. Like I lift because like it keeps me mentally sane. I don't lift well, but that's a separate story.
You lift well.
Thanks.
I'm glad you just eat a lot on vacations. That makes me happy because you struggle gaining weight.
I mean, I still like. I need to cut when I'm going to compete, so you know, it doesn't matter right now.
Or you can compete at your current weight class.
No, I'm going to cut.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Lydia, what about you?
The last one. Yeah, I related a lot to the food shaming because I don't have a lot of either family or friends if I go on vacation with them that are interested in the same things. So, I feel weird doing my own thing, but it is helpful when we get like an Airbnb that has a kitchen and we can go to the grocery store nearby and cook things ourselves. And like someone was saying, kind of do well for the first couple meals of the day. So then for dinner, you can, get something you really wanted to get and not feel quite as bad about it because you didn't do that for every meal that day. But a lot of my trips lately have been business trips for work, which has been an interesting thing to navigate because there's a lot of eating and drinking. So just kind of like not letting your coworkers peer pressure you is almost a little harder than your friends because you're not quite as close with them and you want to like impress them, like the big executives and everything. So that's been something I've struggled with lately.
I feel like the executives should like respect whatever you're
They
trying to stick to. So
they just seem to be like big partiers. So it's like
very interesting. Didn't expect that.
Just get a glass of club soda and put a lime in it. They'll never know that you're not drinking alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah. That was my thought as well.
Good advice. Yeah.
So question to Lydia, what was your motivation for starting?
Starting this program?
Yeah.
I met Katya at the Veg Fest in Columbia in South Carolina where I live. And I just kind of needed a reset. Like I've worked out on and off and I've, tracked my macros on and off. And so I have the knowledge there. I just haven't put it all together and been extremely consistent with it. So having a trainer to help me, especially Katya, who's great, has been really helpful. And I hope that it will, propel me into the next phase of exercising and eating.
Do you want to tell everybody a story of like how we met? I think that's funny.
At the table. Oh wait, the
people before you.
Couple? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's honestly, I was like, this person is awesome. Like there was a couple who went up to Katya and the woman was interested in what she was talking about, and so she was talking to her, and then the man, I guess husband, started talking for her, and Katya put him in his place, and it was awesome.
He wanted for her to like get coaching, or he's like, yeah, my wife needs training, like you need to go to the gym, she needs to go to the gym, she needs this and she needs to lose weight. And I was like, she can tell me what she wants. When was the last time you've been to the gym? And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, yeah, she can tell me, like, talk for yourself if you want to. So that was funny.
Yeah, he backed very quickly.
Love it.
Yeah, I remember one of the questions on the application was like, do you want to join? Like, are you ready? I'm ready. I'm not sure. I need to talk to my husband first. And you were like, yeah, definitely not that. Yeah, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, I saw that and I thought exactly of that.
Yeah.
Do you have a specific goal, Lydia?
I want to get stronger and lose weight, which is like, hard to do at the same time sometimes,
yeah.
But well, I would like to do both. And really just incorporate it into my life in a way that's sustainable. I've done the like eat 1,200 calories,
right,
stupid stuff, and it's just not sustainable. Like working out like every single day all the time is not sustainable. So just kind of being realistic with myself and my goals, and actually doing something I can keep doing.
Yeah, makes sense.
Lovely. Awesome. Good talk. Any last thoughts and questions? We have a couple minutes before we bounce.
I hear a lot of people saying like, I want to be good on vacation. I want to do this. Like, I don't know. I don't like that language. Like, I don't think that's helpful. Right? Like, you're going to like, why do that to yourself is all I would say. Is like, I'm not saying don't meet your dietary goals, but I'm just saying don't put a moral self-judgment on it. And you're saying, oh, I'm going and I'm eating too much. Well, either don't eat too much or say, I'm going to eat a lot of food because I'm going to be with my family. And that's the most important thing to me. Like the worst place to be is doing something that you should enjoy and then beating yourself up over it. Then that's like just nothing but losing. Like there's no upside there. So that's why I'm just concerned when people say stuff like that. It's like, do it or don't do it. But if you're going to do it, enjoy it and don't feel guilty.
Yeah. So I'll add in there that, so my personality and the way that I am is I'm kind of an all or nothing person.
Mhm.
So I have to be careful with the way that I manage my diet, because if I go for 2 weeks and I go all out and say, you know, I'm not going to care, I'm going to enjoy it, I'm going to eat all I want, when I come back, it is a huge struggle to get back on track and manage it. So I have, for me personally, I have to set some kind of boundaries. Otherwise, it's like falling off the wagon. It's so hard to get back up and get on track.
I do understand what you mean, David, though assigning words like good, like I think the vocabulary is maybe what you were focusing on. I agree that can be damaging for people to say that this is good, this is bad. Maybe they're both okay.
Reasonable?
For you, yeah.
It's either in alignment with your goals or it's not in alignment with your goals.
True. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying go crazy. I'm not saying how you should. I don't care how you eat. Not my food, not my body, not my mouth. I don't care. But I'm just saying, like, I do care if people beat themselves up. That I do care.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would say being reasonable helps. Like if you're enjoying some food that your mom made, you can have some of it, but not the entire thing. You know, if you're enjoying whatever the wine in the country, you can have a glass and not a bottle. So like there's still ways to enjoy without overindulging to the point of like, blah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, sorry, another distraction. David, when are you competing?
It's on the 11th of July.
Oh, all right. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have a while.
Yeah, we've got plenty of time.
If anybody wants to go to Vegas and watch David compete live, if anybody likes Vegas, it's there. I'm not doing the nationals this year. First, I don't want to go to Memphis. That's where it is. And I did it last year, so meh.
We got to get Carol on that route.
Wait, she just had a surgery, man, less than a month ago.
I know. We got to get up here, though, first. We got to get it in her head.
Well, that's not my specialty. I'm not like a lobotomist or something.
Well, I can work on that. I can work on the head, please.
Are you the husband who's speaking for the wife now, Michelle?
I am.
That's awesome, because you were just giving us thumbs up 5 minutes ago.
No, she secretly wants to do it, but she will not admit that she wants to do it.
I don't know.
Let's do it together. There's an awesome competition coming up. It's something Lioness. It's a women-only competition, USAPL. I'll find out and put in the group chat, but I love the women-only competition so much, the one I just did. I think I'm going to like seek women-only competitions and do those more, because the amount of support that you get is just mind-blowing. Like, it's not really like, you're not really competing, and guys have more of the like thing. I feel like maybe some women also do that, but I felt the most support and the most fun, and the DJs were awesome, and like really. So that one is, I think, in the end of August. So I would say if you're trying to get Carol to compete, I don't know if that's enough to recover, but you can compete.
Okay, that turned on me a little bit. I didn't see far enough that was going to happen. So
my therapist told me whatever we're trying to make like others do or help them with is what we secretly want to do. So
it is. I will admit that. I will admit that it is what I want.
Do it. It's so fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll put it on my thinking list to think about.
Yeah, put it on a sticky note and put it on the bathroom mirror. Great. Well, good talk. I feel like Julie's reception in the car is not the best, and we probably need to wrap up anyway. So thank you guys for an awesome chat. This has been super fun. Feel free to share with your friends. This is going to be on YouTube, in the live section. So you can access this at any point. And if anybody wants to compete or join our team or is wondering about anything that we have talked about today, they can always reach out to me and I guess to any of y'all, and we can help them. Anyways, let's wrap it up. I'm going to remove you guys from the chat one by one. Bye, David. Bye, Michelle and Carol. Bye, Harsh. And bye, Lydia. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the Total Body Lab Clients and Friends Biweekly Chat. My name is Katya Gorbacheva. If you have questions that you want answered in this chat, you are welcome to send them to my Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, email, wherever. The website is totalbodylab.com. My Instagram is Gorbacheva E, so the last name that is on the screen right now and letter E. So yeah, anything I can do for you, let's do it together. Have a good week.